Hello everyone and welcome back to My Opinion. In the second match of the Super 4 stage of the Asia Cup has come to a close with India beating Pakistan comprehensively by 6 wickets. They put themselves in good stead to qualify for the final. Let's get into this review video. Before I start the review, in my previous video, a third guest was featured for the first time, this guest being renowned broadcaster and former India player Deep Das Gupta. My brother Aditya and I, my twin brother Aditya and I are very grateful for him to have provided as much of his time as he did. I expected the video to be around 25 minutes before recording, and it turned out to be 57 minutes long, and my brother and I are very grateful to Deep Sir to have provided his time. In that video, we discuss commentary for the first 10 minutes, and for the rest of the video, we discuss the India T20 playing combination. And the points I discuss in this video would have also been mentioned in that, so feel free to check that out. Let's get into this review. We've seen that this venue has been a chasing venue, so I'm not surprised that Suryakumar Yadav won the toss and chose to bowl first. And it's a case where we look at the two matches. I didn't watch the previous match, but I watched the second half of this match. It's where we see the two matches, how they've panned out. And I thought, especially in this case, after the handshake situation from the previous match, and I thought a lot was made out of that. I didn't get the impression that Pakistan, this team, were entirely focusing on what they could control, and that was winning the cricket match. I felt almost everything else was being focused on the backdrop going into the first game and the second match, and you saw the constant chatter to the Indian batsmen, some of the celebrations when milestones were reached. I didn't think they were focusing or putting all their focus on winning the match. I thought it was a very emotional showing from them for the first match and the second one. On the other hand, you had an Indian side who's superior in quality, and they kept their heads even when Pakistan went 93 for 1 at the 10-over phase. Suryakumar Yadav said in the post-match presentation that he said the match starts now. They restricted Pakistan to 170, which is still a good score. But if you're playing an all-spin attack against India for the second match now, and you're looking at this explosive batting lineup, even if I wasn't surprised that India chased down 170. I thought it was a good score. But looking at Pakistan's attack, I thought that India would chase it down, and we saw how they went about things. So from the start, some people would say the Fakhar Zaman dismissal controversial. If he had remained for longer, he was on 15 of 8 before he was dismissed, would Pakistan have got a few more runs? And unlike in previous times, he's batting in position today. You've seen in previous occasions he's been batting at number 3 and 4, and when he has failed on those occasions, I don't think faulting him would be realistic because he was batting out of position. In this case, finally, he was playing in position. Yes, Saim Ayub was also an opener, but he's batting at number 3. But I think Fakhar Zaman would be best suited to playing well if he's batting at the top of the order. And we saw that he got off to a brisk start today. Despite that, you're 93 for 1 in 10 overs. And I don't think Mohammad Haris was injured, because he kept wickets in the second innings. He didn't bat in the first innings, and I was confused because you're bringing in Hussain Talat, who is more, he plays slowly. When you're 93 for 2 in 10 overs, you've got a platform, and instead you're bringing in Hussain Talat, who scores 10 runs off 11 balls. The next 3 overs go for 17, yielding a wicket. Then the fourth wicket falls in 115. So I didn't understand that inclusion because before Mohammad Haris was being batted at number 6, which I didn't think was a place where he was going to succeed. In the previous match, he batted number 3 against India, was dismissed early. In this case, he didn't bat. I don't understand that at all. So already when that kind of a move was made, what you're doing is you're going with a spin-heavy attack against India. The second over, after Shaheen Afridi goes through, I think, 9 or 10 in his first over, you're bowling Saeem Ayub to Abhishek Sharma and Shubman Gill with how good players of spin they are. You've put yourself in that situation because you've left Mohammad Wasim Jr. on the bench. You've Naseem Shah was playing the CPL. So I don't understand with the tools they brought to this match how they were going to win without that too fully not focusing on the cricketing side of things. So as long as that doesn't happen, as long as they don't focus on the cricketing sides of things, this may sound like me being biased, but I think this is a fact. We will see no contest like this. India have won the last 7 encounters now, and I don't see that changing anytime soon unless Pakistan prioritize the cricketing side of things. They focus on how they can make their team better, because playing Mohammad Haris, not batting him, bringing in someone else so you bowl a part-time spinner in the second over after your lead bowler's gone for runs, and then you're expecting to win the match, I think it doesn't quite make sense, so that's on them. For India, this now goes back to what I said in the previous video. Deep Sir and I were conversing on the philosophy they are taking with the 11s. And what Deep Sir said was that depending on how you're thinking about things, and I would say about myself that I'm not someone who takes many risks. I think if there's an obvious ploy that would be fairly foolproof, that would work more often than not, I would go with that. Deep Sir is talking about thinking as a player, more so like a batsman. You're prioritizing a number 8 batsman, and India would have thought Shivam Dube at number 8 would be beneficial to them. Now, what I'm saying is, in this case, 2 for 33 and 4. People may say he shifted the match towards India. In my view, Arshdeep Singh, if he had played today, he would have at least matched that 2 for 33 and 4. If Arshdeep Singh bowling earlier on, rather than Bumrah bowling 3 overs in the power play, had bowled that, Pakistan would have not got to 170. And so that's why I think you are making the job easier for you when that far down the batting lineup, Shivam Dube may not get a chance to bat with how good of a batting lineup this is. Akshar Patel, Dube didn't bat today. Hardik Pandya batted at the end. So I feel that they didn't. It's not something of a necessity. I'm not saying it's a bad play. I don't think it's a necessity to play Shivam Dube that low down the order when rather than chasing 170, they could have chased 150. So that would be the case there. And another thing being, we're talking about this, and before I go into that point, I kept mentioning this ground. They will beat teams who aren't up to it, and we've seen that thus far. They'll beat teams that aren't up to it with this formula. When you're playing in the T20 World Cup and in a venue like Delhi, for example, if your trump card Bumrah is not being used in a manner where it can create impact in actuality, but only on paper, where he's bowling 3 overs in the power play, pretend he gets played out, you've got Hardik Pandya bowling 2 overs, then you maybe got someone else filling in. Then you've only got the spinners on a venue like Delhi. Since it's been relayed, it's not got much purchase for the spinners. And no matter how talented you've got a Varun Chakravarti and Kuldeep Yadav to be, they may not be able to run through an opponent on such a surface. Therefore, if Bumrah bowls 3 up front, you have got a problem. I don't want India to have that problem, which is why when number 8 is not going to get a bat with the batting lineup they've got, Arshdeep Singh bowling with Hardik Pandya, Bumrah bowling 1 over in the power play. Then you've got Bumrah, Kuldeep Yadav, Varun Chakravarti in the middle. It's a fantastic combination, so that is what I would do there. And now for the left-right combination theory. We saw in the previous match and in this match, I think Suryakumar Yadav walking out ahead of Tilak Verma merely because Shubman Gill was dismissed first, based on what they have done in the past. And to that I say, if you want to maintain that structure, a fluid lineup, you've got to select personnel accordingly. Because looking at this side, I don't think they can make that work, because you've seen with the opposition they've played thus far, the way it could work in a most likely case would be if you're batting on a very good batting surface, or if you're playing against a team that has not got the goods to compete against you, And those are the two ways where it can work. Otherwise, let's say if you're playing against a better side, or if you're playing on a slower surface, where in that case, look at this lineup, apart from the openers who are very good players of spin, you've got Suryakumar Yadav. The records on a better batting surface, let's say in the IPL, compared to a slower surface like a Chennai, for example, it is different. So if he walked out lower down, would he succeed? I doubt it. Then you got Tilak Verma, whose best position is at number 3. Sanju Samson, his best position is in the top 4. Hardik Pandya, if you also send him at 6 on a slower surface, 5 or 6, him succeeding, I don't know. Maybe 5, but not number 6. I don't think so. Shivam Dubey is someone who'd prefer to bat at 4 or 5. Would he succeed at number 7? I don't think so. So we've only got Akshat Patel on a slower surface, which is why I'm saying if you want to pick a fluid lineup, there's someone who I think is an obvious candidate who can bat at number 3 and number 6, and that is Riyan Parag. If that's what you're looking to go for, I think ignoring him, it makes no sense, because Sanju Samson, he's either going to bat in position in the top 4, meaning someone else has to bat out of position, meaning in that case, is it worth playing him? I'd feel bad for him if they dropped him, because he scored, I think, against Bangladesh and South Africa, he scored 3 centuries in 2 series. And with the amount of backing they've given him, I think rightly so, you're demoting him to number 5 and then you're dropping him. I don't think it makes sense. I'm not saying including Shubman Gill is a bad thing. I think he's a fantastic player with the talent that India has got. You've got many players who deserve to be there as well. Shubman Gill in the IPL has played very well. They're looking for him to be the all-format captain at some stage. But if you're looking at the team combination, Sanju Samson has now been pushed number 5. It makes more sense to play Jitesh Sharma. Will they do that, given the amount of backing they've given him? I don't know. And is Jitesh Sharma also someone who, if you're looking for the fluid lineup because of the keeper situation, you've got Jitesh Sharma, who's more suited to number 5 than Sanju Samson. I think in this case, Riyan Parag, if that's what they're looking to do, him not being in the scheme of things, I don't know, because I think he would suit that kind of model. Do I agree with switching the lineup around frequently? I don't think so. As I said, on a slow surface with the personnel they've selected, it can be difficult to deal with. That's what I'd go with. But the openers played fantastically today. Abhishek Sharma, with the confidence that he has been showing, I thought that there was a nonchalance about the way that he went about things in the first ball. I expected him to do well, but I think with the amount of confidence that he has shown in the previous matches and today especially, it was great to see him do what he did. And I think Shubman Gill, because the reason I'm mentioning him is, if you're comparing them when they're walking out to bat, there was some stress visible when looking at Shubman Gill's face from the TV. And Saim Ayub bowling the second over, he helped one down, past fine leg for 4. Then the next ball was a short delivery where he hit 4 through extra cover. And then he started to get into this innings, so I think it was great for him. After starting off nervously, he looked nervous to get into his innings as well as he did. And it just shows the pressure in this encounter cannot be equated to anything. And this is why I'm saying I think it's unfair that this encounter is being played. I don't think this is anything related to cricket. It's never been anything related to cricket. A lot of time people say rivalries or other things, and then how can you say that something which is geopolitical has nothing to do with cricket? How can you say it's a rivalry when you compare? What's a rivalry? Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh. Is India versus Pakistan a rivalry? No. Is it a rivalry based on what we've seen in the field, on the cricket field? Definitely no. Can you say it's a rivalry based on something that is not related to cricket? No, you can't. I believe that this kind of stress is not something that most people would experience as players, and I don't think it should be experienced. So Shubman Gill, Abhishek Sharma prospering under that kind of a pressure, it's a testament to the character they have and the kind of talent they have as well. So fantastic from those two. India expectedly winning this match. And as I said, people may think about things differently. As I said before, Deep Sir talked about batsmen or former players thinking like batsmen. Me, someone who having not played the game professionally, I'm thinking it from more of an academic point of view. But it depends on the type of personality you are. I agree with that. However, I feel factually Arshdeep Singh would have equal Shivam Dube's performance, especially since Dube is not getting much of a bat. So, I think if India include Arshdeep Singh, they could be able to succeed with the bull across conditions, and I think they'd be best placed to win the T20 World Cup. Let's see how things go. If you enjoyed this video, if you don't subscribe, share with friends. That's my opinion. Watch shows.